Hey guys, hope you're well. Sorry, we're about a minute late, but I'm so grateful again for Jennal to join me and having this discussion on anxiety. And just as a recap, the reason we're doing this is because our last live, which we had together on depression, was it was very powerful in terms of, I think it had an impact with a lot of people, a lot of our viewers, because we had a lot of comments come back from it, and especially on Facebook, but also personal messages of people who connected personally that know us. And we thought we want to continue the awareness around mental health, so that hopefully a lot more people will connect. But also, again, this is not about the likes and everything, it's about the sharing, because we've realized the more, like today, I have actually literally just come from a wedding and people are talking about the lives. So even though I might not see it, or Jennal might not see it in terms of whether it's getting shared or whether people are viewing it, it's been noticed that people are actually viewing it. So we're so grateful to you guys for actually tuning in, especially on Sunday evening. And yeah, we're here for our live. So just going to introduce you to Jennal again, just in case if you missed our live last time on depression. So hi, Jennal.
Hey.
So Jennal, just if you could just have a quick recap on sort
The
of
last
what
one?
the last one, and sort of what you do, and sort of why we've decided to do this live together.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. So I work in mental health, but my main sort of experience is working in very much clinical settings. I mainly work with people who sort of go through schizophrenia, bipolar, personality disorders. And I have had my own experience of anxiety. Hence, that's why we're doing this live, because when you guys hear my story, I didn't know much about anxiety, even though I work in mental health. Yeah, whatever I was going through, I didn't realize it was actually anxiety. So I kind of felt doing something like this is really important, because it raises awareness for other people who are going through it themselves. And you also may know people yourselves who are going through it. Because when I was going through it, I had no clue.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't know what the hell was going on. So we're hoping this live will just give people more of an insight as to what anxiety is. There's a lot of misconceptions, like many health conditions, not just mental health, but with many conditions there are a lot of misconceptions. So we're hoping to try and just, I don't know, make things a little bit more clear as to what it is, and awareness out there.
I think it will open up people's minds, right?
Yeah.
Especially coming from someone who works in mental health as well, because I think no one realizes, or sometimes the side effects or the signs are there, but no one actually takes action. And I've done that as well. So no one takes action because they think it's just something that people just asking for sympathy, or just looking for attention.
Attention seeking is a big one.
So no, that's so. So as I said, some of you might know Jennal from depression one, and I said the depression live. We had a lot of engagement, which was amazing, especially during the live. As well as after the live, we had people that actually reached out to us, either individually or together or on Facebook Messenger. And it was nice because we got to, people got to share their journey, or share their experience, whether they've been going through it or whether they know that someone has gone through it. So it's nice because I think what we've learned, the more that people share, and if you feel comfortable sharing on the actual live, then please do share, because when you share, I think everyone's always waiting for that first person to share. It's like when you actually, and I can say on a wedding reception sort of level, every time I'm doing a wedding or a party, it's always, everyone wants to dance, but they're always waiting for that first person to get up and dance. once that first person goes up, everyone's up on the
Yeah.
dance floor. And I realized that here, as soon as one person shares, there's so many people that start sharing their experience, their journey, or people that they know who suffer from anxiety. So what we've done is we're trying to keep these lives not just us talking, but we want people to sort of engage in our conversation. It's all well and good us talking for an hour, but that could be boring for a lot of you. It can be something where this is a learning thing for us, and we can only learn, me and Jennal can only learn from other people's experiences if you share it. So we want to try and make it as engaging as possible. And so how are we going to do that? What have we? We've decided on a nice little structure, which I'm hoping you will all enjoy.
Okay, so we have got a few people live, so maybe we could kind of start doing it and just see how it goes. So what we thought would be a good way to start off is actually kind of do like a myth buster with you guys, just to see what your knowledge is of anxiety. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading out like I'm going to do it a statement at a time, and you guys, while you're on live, you kind of have to comment, is this a myth or is it a fact? And once I've finished each statement, we'll kind of go, I'll tell you whether it's a myth or a fact. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So the first one is, anxiety is not a real illness. Is that a myth or a fact?
So let's see if people comment. So guys, just as I said, all you need to put down whether you think anxiety is sorry.
So is anxiety is not a real illness. Do you guys think that's true or false?
Yeah. Might actually have not a lot of people on actually. So
oh, there we go. Okay. So Prina says it's a myth. What about everyone else that's currently on live? Anxiety is not a real illness. Myth or fact?
Hi, Councillor Butt. Thank you for joining. Jamal Mystery, Bijal, Sanchani, hello mate. Dean, if you're still there. Misbah, Puja Patel, hello. Amisha, Kiran Bhai, Rupal, hi. Jessica. So as I said, we're just saying whether you think whether it's a myth. Sorry, what was it again? Sorry.
So anxiety is not a real illness. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
I'll give you about a minute.
Yeah, let's give a couple more people to see what they say.
So Prina said myth. Might not have. I think a lot of people are eating their dinner.
Sorry.
Might be, yeah, could be. Hey Mills, how are you, buddy? Callum, thanks for joining. So Councillor Butt, if you're still online, what do you think is, if you can feel it, then it is real. Okay?
Okay, interesting. Misbah, apologies if there's any mispronunciations, says it's a myth. Okay.
So we got two myths. Misbah and Prina say it's a myth. And Councillor Butt, if you can feel it, then it is real. Hey Gurpreet, hello mate. Sedge, hello bro. Thanks for joining, guys. As I said, look, we're so grateful to each and every one of you because you're taking out time on a Sunday evening, and you know we will try and keep it as short as possible. But you know, I think the more people that comment, people that do engage, I think it's helping others. And I think that's the reason for doing this. As I said before, on our depression, on all my other lives, I'm doing these lives not for recognition or anything. It's to actually share the journeys that people are going through, because hopefully just by one share will help so many other people. And you know, it's such a big thing. That's such a big impact on someone else, and you're actually helping them, not me, not Jennal. It's actually you guys, by sharing these lives, is what's actually helping other people. So you know, please do, you know, get engaged, also play a part, and you know, participate if possible. You know, we've got a few more people. Lorraine, hello. So I'm gonna get Jennal to just go through that question again?
Okay,
So people that have joined in.
Yeah, so for anyone that's just joined in, we're just doing like a little kind of like a myth buster, because we just want to know what people's current knowledge is of anxiety. So I'm going to be reading out a really short statement. You guys have to comment whether it's a myth or a fact, and then I will give you the answer and just give you a brief explanation. So the first statement was, anxiety is not a real illness. Do you think that's a myth or a fact? And a few people have already put it's a myth. What do the rest of you guys think?
Okay, so we've got Krupa. Hi Krupa, how are you? We've got quite, yeah. You know, next time what we should do, we should put the question up as well.
True.
And as you're thinking about the answer for that, just if there's anything that you think can make it easier for you to engage in our lives, please do let us know. Whether it's a comment on after this live, in this live, let us know what your comments are. Give us your feedback, because as I said, we're doing this for you guys. This is not for us. So yeah, we've got a few more people. So Asgar. So Councillor Butt said fact. Lorraine Hayden said not real. Okay.
Anxiety is not a real illness. Okay, shall I?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think, yeah.
So it's actually a myth. Of course, it's a real illness. So I think we all experience some anxiety on a kind of day-to-day level. Like there is, I don't want to use the word normal, but I'm using it in inverted commas. There's normal anxiety in the sense, for example, you've got an interview coming up and you've got, you're a little bit nervous, but it's nothing intense. It's nothing, you're not getting really any kind of intense physical symptoms. That's okay. That's normal anxiety. I hate going to the doctors. I always get a little bit anxious. But again, it's nothing like full on, it's nothing intense. However, when it becomes an issue and when it actually becomes an anxiety disorder, where anxiety is an actual illness, is when your physical symptoms are really, really intense, to the point where you start avoiding certain situations, you can't leave your house. It just really impacts your everyday life. And I will share a little bit more about my experience, because that did kind of happen to me as well. So anxiety is a real illness, guys. Shall I go on to the next one? Okay. So real anxiety is having panic attacks. Is that a myth or a fact? Real anxiety is having panic attacks. Is that a myth or a fact? So I know some of you are putting in comments. We will definitely kind of get back to that. But just for now, the next statement was real anxiety is having panic attacks. Is that a myth or a fact? So if you're someone who doesn't really suffer from any panic attacks, then this statement is saying that's not anxiety. You have to be suffering from panic attacks in order to be diagnosed with anxiety. Is that true or false? Panic attacks are one symptom, says Mr. Butt. Prina says not always. Anxiety can manifest in various ways. Okay, so a lot of you are saying this is a myth so far. A myth, okay.
Okay. So
what do you think? Sagar hasn't read my notes or anything, so he has no idea. What do you think, Sagar? Is real anxiety having panic attacks?
I think it's a fact.
You think it's a fact?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a fact? So you can only have anxiety if you're suffering from a panic attack.
I'm saying that from personal experience, though.
Okay.
Because every time I had a panic attack, that's when I realized that actually I was anxious before then. For example, in my exams, I didn't do one of my exams because I had a panic attack, and I was very, very anxious before my exams.
Okay, interesting.
Because otherwise, I've never really.
You don't relate to it in any other way
No.
other than having panic attacks.
Which is why if someone asks me, "Do you have anxiety?" I don't think I do. But
okay, I got it. Okay, so yes, those of you who put a myth, yes, it is a myth. Anxiety, like someone actually already said, comes in so many different forms. Anxiety is like the umbrella, and then you have so many other different types of anxiety. You've got post-traumatic stress disorder, you have obsessive compulsive disorder, you have a panic disorder, you have body dysmorphic disorder. So all of these things don't necessarily come with the symptom of having a panic attack, but panic attack is one symptom of it. It's not just because you suffer from a panic attack, that's the only way you have an anxiety. There are many different types of anxiety, like with PTSD and OCD, you don't necessarily suffer from panic attacks. It's a whole different thing in itself.
Wow. So just before Jennal goes on to the next one, we have got a few comments just so it doesn't get lost. So we had Lorraine said it's not real. Okay. It would be nice for you to elaborate on that.
No, so I think she was talking about the first statement.
Okay.
That she said it's not a real illness.
Sedge said anxiety was not once a recognized medical illness in the context of the disability laws, but now it is becoming more recognized. Yeah. Thanks for that, Sedge.
That's true.
Prina said, what can we do if people we care about do not want to accept they have anxiety?
That's
we'll come back to that, Prina. Stay tuned in because we will come back to that. Asghar, Councillor Butt, sorry. I'm sorry I keep calling Councillor Butt. I have to. I've always called you Councillor Butt, so I can't call you from your first name. So Councillor Butt said panic attacks are one symptom. Okay.
Yeah.
Prina said not always. Okay. Sedge, anxiety can manifest in various ways, which is what you mentioned.
Yeah.
And then Prina said myth. And Lorraine Hayden has just said, think anxiety is not reality.
It is, well, there's like two different ways you can kind of look at that. It very much is real for the person who's going through it, but with anxiety, because you're going through this state where you've got this really deep, intense fear or worry, you do actually become disconnected from reality because you're not in the present. You're actually worrying about something, or you've got a fear about something that you think is going to happen. So you're thinking about something in the future. You're not thinking about something, whatever's happening now. So you are disconnected from reality, but it is very much real because you're feeling it. So it is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the next one.
Yeah, next one. So I just want to say while we get the next one ready, hi Miloni, Yogesh Bey, Sarjan, Shah, Jandan, Gauri, hello. So yeah, hopefully you guys will sort of participate in our little fact or myth
buster.
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay, so the next one is anxiety isn't life-threatening. Is that a myth or a fact? Anxiety isn't life-threatening. Myth or fact?
Ooh.
What do you guys think? What do you think? Anxiety isn't life-threatening. Do you think that's true or false?
False.
Okay. Even from the times that you've experienced anxiety, did you feel you were literally going to die?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those
Okay.
panic attacks are not good.
No, and we will definitely share our experience of it. It was horrible. So Prina says it's a myth. Mizba says it's a myth. Anxiety isn't life-threatening, meaning you can't die from anxiety. So true or false? Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay. So, guys, it's actually true. You cannot die from anxiety, even though that's not to disregard or downplay anyone who goes through really severe anxiety, because when you go through severe anxiety, you do literally feel like you are going to have a heart attack, you are going to die, but you can't ever die from it. You can't even have a heart attack from it. The worst would be you pass out, like you black out or something. But it's not life threatening.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I bet, like, when you experienced it, like, did you ever experience it really severe? Were you like,
Just
you
that,
did say
just that, yeah, that once or twice, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and nobody's ever died
Okay.
from anxiety as such. No matter how severe it is, you can't actually die from it.
Okay. So as they're going on that, we got Lorraine. So Prina and Nispa said myth. Lorraine said, "Have you guys heard of Thrive program by Rob Kelly?" Have you?
Not by Rob Kelly. I know Thrive Global by Arianna Huffington.
Okay.
No. Lorraine, tell us more. What is that?
Yeah, it would be nice to know. And Councillor Butt said, depends on how severe the anxiety case is. Well,
No.
you know the answer now. So.
Yeah. Okay, next one. So, this is an interesting one, okay, because I used to get this comment a lot. Social anxiety is the same as being shy. True or false? Social anxiety is the same as being shy. True or false?
Wow. Okay.
Okay. What do you
Hi,
think?
Mohan Radhika, hello. Ankit, just in time for our Mythbusters. Hopefully you will join in. Paula, hi Paula. Okay, so Lorraine says true.
Okay.
Do you want to just repeat that question?
So yeah. So we're just doing a bit of a Mythbuster for anyone who's just joined. And I'm just reading out a few statements, and you guys have to tell us whether it's true, false, myth, fact. So our statement is social anxiety is the same as being shy. Is that a myth or a fact? Is that true, false? So we've got a couple of truths, got one false. What do the rest of you think? Social anxiety is the same as being shy. Hi, Paula. We were speaking a few days ago.
Oh, nice. Hi, Paula.
So Paula said, Radhika says false. Paula says false. Oh, we got a couple of truths, couple of falses.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
This is good. We're going to give you another minute or so.
Yeah. So,
hi, Rima.
Hey. So we're just doing a Mythbuster, and you have to tell us whether it's true or false. Social anxiety is the same as being shy. Is that true or is that false? And it's very 50-50 at the moment. Amisha says, I'm thinking it's false. Okay.
So what we got? We got.
I think we got more falses than truths. Okay. I'm gonna get. Should I? Yeah. What did you say? Your answer? Social anxiety is the same.
It's false.
Think it's false.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's false. Yes. Oh my god. So being shy is more of a personality trait. You can be shy, you can be a little bit awkward going into like social situations, and it's a little bit uncomfortable for sure. So there's that similarity between social anxiety and being shy, but there's a big difference. When you have social anxiety, you don't get out of your house. You cannot even walk into a social situation. And it takes a lot. And I'm really like kind of, trying to emphasize here, it really, really, really takes a lot for someone to walk into a social situation with someone who has social anxiety. And in that situation, it's not just feeling uncomfortable, it's not just feeling awkward. Those feelings are so intense.
Yeah.
Like you can become really, really, really distressed. So the two are very, very different, really different. Okay. People with social anxiety do avoid situations where they've had to be social. They just will stop hanging out with people because they're too scared. There's a huge fear. So Mr. Butt says social anxiety is more about the fear of being in social situations, and being shy is slightly different. Yeah, exactly. Paula says, yes, it's like having an anxiety attack, like a heart attack. Yeah, you literally go through a full-on panic. You're sweating, your heart's probably like beating so fast. Like it's so uncomfortable. And you might get a little bit of that if you're shy, but not on that kind of level. Even though you're shy, you still would try to go to these social situations. Sometimes you might not, but it's not like you full on completely, stop going to any kind of social event. But with someone with social anxiety, it's really difficult for them. Really difficult. And I'm not talking about, it could be going to a party, it could be a one-on-one situation, it could be even talking to somebody on the phone. Like it's a really big kind of illness to have. Actually, it really affects people, and it just kind of has a massive impact on their life.
So Paula's just come back with that and saying, so I use grounding tools. Paula, it'd be lovely to know what sort of tools you use, because again, this is something where if you share what you do, which may, which helps you, may not help others, but I think this is where people don't sort of, take that extra step further to find out what sort of resources are available, which we were going to talk about later on. But because you brought up the question, it would be nice for you to actually just let us know what sort of grounding tools you use, whether it's meditation, whatever it is. Because even if people haven't connected now, watching our live, should I say, at least when I share it back, on YouTube, on my channel, and when I reshare it on our Facebook, hopefully people can look through the comments, and you might sort of help people by using, they might start using some of your tools. So yeah, please do comment, and if you can elaborate on that, that'd be amazing. So yeah, next.
Okay, so we got two more.
Yeah.
So guys, can anyone be affected by anxiety, or is it a particular type of person? So the statement is, anyone can be affected by anxiety. True or false?
Might have to wait for a few more people to come back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Paula, can I just say what? Yeah. So Paula's saying one of her grounding tools is, and this is actually really good for anyone who does go anxiety. Grounding means you're bringing yourself back into the present, because when you're worrying about something, or there's this huge fear, your reality is gone, like you're somewhere else. So you need to bring yourself back to kind of the moment where you are. So Paula she says her name, where she is, what room she's in, the date, the year. Yeah, that's a really good one. So guys, so can anyone be affected by anxiety? True or false? So Paula says anyone. Prina also says yes, anyone can be affected by anxiety. Any other guesses? What do you think?
I think yes.
Anyone can be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how strong you are. I think you can.
You said something interesting there. It doesn't matter how strong you are. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to say it. Yes, anyone can be affected by anxiety. And kind of just going on the back of what you just said, the misconception is that people think anxiety means a person's really weak, because you do kind of lose, you don't have that control anymore. And people assume that you've kind of lost it, or it's like a sign of weakness. No, forget being strong, weak, that's got nothing to do with it. It can happen to anyone at any time. And I'll kind of go into that a little bit later. But you don't have to be someone who suffered from something traumatic to have anxiety. It could happen to you just before you go to bed tonight, and you will have no idea why sometimes.
Wow, okay.
There are no known causes of anxiety, but there are lots of factors involved in terms of what could have started your anxiety, but there are no known causes. There's a difference between you actually, someone telling you this is the cause, but this is a trigger. Triggers and causes are slightly different, because a trigger can be many things. Okay. You can have anxiety because you're stressed at work. You can have anxiety because you've got exams coming up.
Yep.
And you're stressed. Stress is a big factor, by the way, guys, for anxiety. You are someone who worries a lot, that could turn into anxiety.
Right.
But there's no known cause.
Right. Okay.
There's not a cause. There's no known cause in a sense, it's because of like genetics, or it's because of some chemical imbalance. No, it's very much an environmental thing. But you can't just pinpoint it to one specific thing. There's lots of things that are involved.
And how can people figure out their triggers?
Good point. I mean, I didn't know what my triggers were until I was in the situation, but I was in the situation for a while.
Okay.
And I had to keep a diary because, and I will go into my story, mine literally came out of the blue. Out of the blue, wasn't expecting it. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, fine, it's just an off day, whatever. I didn't take it seriously. And then because it was happening for a long period of time, I was confused. I just didn't understand, because I wasn't under pressure. I wasn't under any stress. There was nothing, challenging going on in my life. Mm-hmm. And as a person, I'm actually a very chilled, very calm person. Mm-hmm. So where has this come from? I just didn't understand. You have to actually dig deep and do a lot of reflecting, and that's where the self-awareness comes in. Mm-hmm. Sometimes some people will know and others won't. So that's why journaling, or just something like writing it down, would really, really help. Okay. That's the only way I could kind of suggest. And if anyone, please do comment, guys. Like, I'm not saying everything that I'm saying is necessarily the same for every person.
Yeah, no.
This is just based on my experience.
And just going, upon like back on what Jennal and how she sort of tried to figure out her trigger points. I've realized, and this is not just from doing the lives, but people that I talk to, they, a lot of them are starting to keep a journal.
Yeah.
They keep a diary, or whichever way they've got something where they can reflect back onto something of why something has happened. And I have always said that sometimes, in order to understand growth, you have to always look back to where you were the same time last year, because our minds are not conditioned in a way to actually understand growth just like that. And you might not think that you've grown. However, other people see it, you might not see it. And the best way for you to see it is always look back a year behind, write down, every day what you've done, where you've been, the problems, the issues, whatever you've had, the good days, the bad days. And then you realize, a year later, which I've done, that, oh my God, this is where I was last year in September the 1st. This is where I am now. And you realize that, wow, I am growing. And even though I might not see it, because I'm just getting on with my day-to-day life in terms of doing what I love doing, which is weddings, but I don't realize how much I've grown doing weddings. And I only now know because I reflect
Mr.
back.
Ramson.
So, so as I said, please, what Jennal said about her sort of trigger factors and how she's realized what her trigger factors, please, anyone else that's on live at the moment, if you do suffer from anxiety, or even if you don't suffer from anxiety and you have, you might have some other condition, or you may not even a condition, but even at work, you might get stressed. What are your, how do you recognize your trigger factors? What sort of things do you do in order to reflect back on whether you've moved on and how you're helping yourselves? So just we've got a few other people quite a few people that just connected. So welcome, guys. Sorry, Paula just said, deep journal. I agree. So that's definitely one. Prina just said stress is a huge factor. So I just want to say hello to a few people. Grant, hello mate. Deepak Bhai. I've got Jigger, Jitan, hi mate. Kirti. Oh, we got Pandit, Ram Pandey, hello. I just saw you half an hour ago. Can't get enough of me. Paula, again, I'm loving that. Thank you, Paula. As I said, we're doing this to help others, and I'm so glad. Thank you, Paula, and thank you to everyone else that's actually still tuned in. I know we keep losing people and new people are coming in, but that's what this is about. And it's not about, I can see all these likes and loves and hearts going up on my screen. And it's nice, but remember, the reason for doing this again, it's not to do with the likes, it's to do with how many people share this live so that they can help others. So hi, Rina, Bria, hello. And Ram just said, this is very deep, what you say. Okay, thank you. I learned from you, Ram. It's our conversation back from Gatwick today. So I'm teaching people wisdom, like you said. Ram is like my guru. So yes, I definitely listen to Ram, and we're just trying to sort of help others. So have you got any?
I've got one last one.
Yep.
So again, just a few of you that have joined, we're doing a quick myth buster because we just want to find out what your knowledge is of anxiety, and it will just hopefully get an interesting conversation going. So the last one is, there is a difference between having a panic attack and an anxiety attack. Is this true or false? Is there a difference between having a panic attack and an anxiety attack? True or false?
Oh.
Yeah. This is the one that a lot of
torn
people
between true and false,
find
actually.
quite hard.
I'm
Yes.
really torn. Wow, okay.
So the statement is there is a difference between having a panic attack and having an anxiety attack. True or false? What do you think?
Oh.
Also, we got one. Mr. Ram says it's false. Karina says yes, it's true that there is a difference. Paula believes it's the same. What do you think? Is there a difference between a panic attack and an anxiety attack?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Okay.
I think it's true.
So you think there is a difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Okay.
Paula said it's true.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yes. No, Paula says it's the same. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, true. So Paula, do you think they are the same, anxiety and panic attacks, or you think they're different? Okay.
This has got people thinking they're not responding as quick as fast as they were.
It's true.
Okay.
Okay. Shall I?
Yeah.
Give the answer. Yeah, there's a difference. There's a huge difference. They're not the same. We often use, and I've done it myself. We often use anxiety attack, panic attack interchangeably. They are two very, very different things. So let me go through a panic attack first. So a panic attack is something that's it happens suddenly. It happens very quickly. So very suddenly, a short period of time, but it is so intense. It's really, really intense. Okay. Whereas with an anxiety attack, you will know when you're having an anxiety attack. It doesn't come on suddenly. Your body starts feeling weird. You'll notice something different going on, so you can almost like prepare yourself for an anxiety attack.
Right.
A panic attack, because it's sudden and you have no idea when it's going to come.
Yeah.
You can't prepare your body for it.
Right.
And with an anxiety attack, it's much longer. The actual anxiety attack. The panic attack is sudden, but it's short.
Yeah, okay.
But intense.
Yeah.
As if you've actually been suffering from a panic attack the whole day. That's how intense it is. It will wipe you out. Whereas an anxiety attack, because it comes on slowly, Mr. Ram says I was right. Because it comes on slowly, it lasts a little bit longer, but it's not as intense.
Right, yeah.
And then the other big difference is with a panic attack, you will go through a lot of physical symptoms. So like for me, I used to get sweaty palms. My heart rate used to go ridiculously fast, like really, really fast. You can get out of breath, or you can actually even feel as if you're going to like I thought, oh my God, I can't breathe. Like I used to panic. I as if I was like choking or something.
Yeah.
That's the feeling you get. But with anxiety, it's more psychological. That's when it becomes a real sort of clinical condition, because we were talking a little bit about how you stop becoming in touch with reality. That's more with anxiety,
right,
than with a panic attack.
Okay.
Even though with a panic attack, you're still like, because it's still intense, you're still not really kind of fully in the present moment, but it comes back really quickly.
Yeah.
With an anxiety, like it's just the sort of disconnection with reality is a lot longer.
Yeah. No.
Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Sorry,
I think Paula has actually just said, oh my God, yes, I do agree with that because of how you explain it.
Okay. But there are like symptoms that happen with an anxiety attack as well as a panic attack. So I've got a diagram here, guys, and we might actually try and attach it to this live after, but just to give you like a clearer idea. So if you have a panic attack, you would have sensations of smothering. So smothering in the sense of you're really having difficulty breathing, like you've got claustrophobia. And that's what I used to have. Feelings of choking, chest pain, fear of dying, feelings of being detached from oneself, and feelings of being disconnected from the world. Now with anxiety, it's more like restlessness, feeling edgy, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, your mind goes blank, you're irritable, you get more muscle tension, sleep problems, worrying, nervousness. And then with the two of them, there are some symptoms that do overlap. So for example, like sweating, numbness, or even like tingling. You can get like pins and needles, for example. So with the heart palpitations, that can happen with both an anxiety attack and a panic attack. You can also even feel nauseous, like getting the shakes, feeling dizzy. So there's a lot of symptoms that go hand in hand but the main difference is a panic attack is sudden, it's intense, and it's the actual panic attack is very short. Like from my experience, it was literally a couple of seconds. With an anxiety attack, it's not sudden. Like it creeps up on you, but
Right.
you know it's coming.
Yeah. No.
And the actual attack, the anxiety attack, is much longer. So your experience of it is much longer, and it's more. What else did I just say?
Actually, no. So I think I agree with you, because I think, yeah, I agree with you in terms of, I'm just thinking back to what you just said in terms of my exams.
Okay. So what from your?
I think that was actually a panic attack.
Okay, so just explain, just so that everyone knows.
Yeah, because there was nothing wrong at all. I literally went to the venue where the exams were going to take place, and as they called people in, my panic attack came on.
Okay, so what happened?
So I started, what's the word I'm looking for? Hyperventilating.
Okay.
So I could not, I was very, like, I felt like I was drowning.
Okay.
Because I couldn't breathe. And
yeah.
I couldn't actually focus to get my breathing under control.
Okay.
Even though there was nothing wrong with me.
There was nothing wrong in that situation.
Yeah, in that situation, yeah. Correct.
Right. Everything was fine. It was all good. You're going into the exam, and then this happened.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
And then, literally, by the time I got to the hospital, and I knew my exams were over, my panic attack disappeared.
Wait. So as
soon as I was taken away from the scene, from actually the site,
yeah,
my panic attack had gone. So I actually had a panic attack about doing that exam.
That's interesting. So I think you had a bit of both.
Do you think so?
Yes, but shall I tell you why?
Why?
So you had it suddenly, okay? So you had no idea it was going to happen. There was nothing kind of going on for your body to start behaving that way. You had it, and as soon as you removed yourself from that situation, it stopped. When you have a panic attack, you can actually be away from that situation and you'll still have a panic attack. Whereas with an anxiety, you don't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. So and you can have both, by the way. You can actually have both at the same time.
Okay. How do you? Okay.
Yes.
So this will help, hopefully, because it will differentiate of what's what. And,
there's a huge overlap, and a lot of people do have both anxiety and panic attacks, even at the same time, like you actually just did.
Yeah.
And some people just have one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a myth buster. That wasn't too bad.
No, that was amazing. Thank you guys for, actually engaging and commenting and actually trying to be a part of this live, which is the whole concept, the whole reason for doing this live. So yeah, thank you for that. And it's good to know other people's thoughts, because what we may think is true could be false, and this is what's going to help you, and this is what we're going to go on to, aren't we, in terms of sometimes people who suffer from anxiety, you may think that they're just out there seeking attention, but in actual fact, if you take a step back, then actually, if you look at the signs that Jennal just brought up, and we're going to post this diagram on this live as well, just take a step back and actually think, hold on, is this person actually just looking for sort of seeking attention, or is this person actually suffering from an anxiety attack, or does that person suffer from anxiety? Because you don't know, face value, it doesn't say anxiety on your forehead, and unfortunately we don't carry around cards saying I suffer from anxiety. So
oh, that's horrible.
So from base value, as I said, it's same thing with it is invisible, and because it's invisible, people don't pay notice to it, and I think this is where we've got things wrong. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's invisible in the sense that the symptoms are visible.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's going on internally is not. It's like with any disability, physical disability, you can see someone's got a physical disability, okay?
Yeah.
But
No.
with a mental health illness, any mental health illness, it's hidden,
Yeah.
and many other physical health conditions. So we still have a lot of prejudices and stigmas against hidden illnesses, and this is something we need to change by having conversations like this.
Yeah.
And just raising awareness. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know.
No, definitely. So Paula's just said both me and my husband are just looking at each other like this makes sense. Thank you, Paula. So we got so wow, we got comments coming like crazy. So Paula, again, very validating. Thank you. Andrea said totally agree. Hi, Andrea. And I just understand that concept, Paula. Thank you. Hi, Jolpa. Hello. How are you? Thanks for joining. So we've just had our Mythbuster, and we're sort of just gonna. Well, Jennal's already sort of touched up on your personal journey.
Yeah.
For me, in terms of, wow, you think you don't actually suffer from something until someone.
Well, I was just going to say, because I didn't know you'd gone through. Well, so this is okay. This is the other thing. Sorry to interrupt.
Nah.
A lot of us, you can go through just anxiety period, for like a couple of weeks, and then you'll be fine. Some people have it for a few months. Some people have it for much longer. But I honestly do feel right now, in the world we're living in and the way our lifestyles are, everyone has a makeup, a personality makeup that is either more towards anxiety or more towards depression, just with the way we are right now. And my personality is very much towards anxiety, because people who are overachievers, who are perfectionists, who like to be in control, that's very much fits in with the anxiety category, because you've lost control in that moment. That's why you're no longer in the present. You're like, oh my god, okay, I've got this, I've got that, you're just going like, you know, you're like on a hamster wheel. Whereas someone with depression, a personality, someone who's more prone to depression, is someone who's kind of maybe, I don't know, like, who kind of likes to be by themselves, or is not the most sort of, actually, I don't know, maybe kind of just touch on your.
No, see, that's the thing. Well,
you can have both.
Yeah,
people do have both.
Yeah.
But it's usually everyone has one or the other. And I'm not saying everyone on this live, if you haven't had a panic attack or an anxiety attack, or you don't even have anxiety, you're going to have one. But we all have a form of it. Like I was mentioning, like on a day-to-day basis, you know, like I get a little bit anxious because I don't like going to the doctors, hate it. I'm scared of deep water. But I will still go in the water. I don't have this huge fear. You know, I'm a little bit nervous, but then once I'm in, it's all good. It's fine.
Okay.
But other people would totally avoid that. So that's where the anxiety disorder comes in.
Okay.
But we all experience it. We all actually experience it on some level.
Yeah. No, I think saying that, you're right. I think, again, I've just, the way you've just explained it, it's, especially in the industry that I'm in terms of keeping everything on time with weddings.
Yeah.
Again, so I when we were planning this, and Jennal was like, you know, she'll talk to everyone about her story, and I was like, okay, I don't know what to talk about for my journey.
Because you thought you didn't have a story.
Yeah. But now, the way you've explained stuff, at that sort of short moment, I think I do suffer that, because, you know, especially in the wedding side, that I'm working on a strict schedule.
Yeah.
When things fall out of place,
yeah,
and I've got everyone else constantly on my back,
yeah,
I feel like I can't focus anymore. So I go into that sort of anxious stage on what's going to happen.
Right.
It's this is falling apart when it actually isn't.
Yeah.
And then when I take a step back and reflect and think, okay, do you know what? Actually, there's a reason why, and actually, no one else knows that this is falling apart. only I
you.
know,
Yeah.
and some
Because you're being
immediate people who are
self-critical.
helping.
Yes.
And then it's weird because you're right. I completely come out of it. Meaning I come out of it in terms of I'm still maybe anxious to get things back on track.
Yeah.
But my focus is once I know why I'm anxious,
Yeah.
I can then control it.
Yeah.
Whether it's just through just sitting in one area trying to work out what to do and how to get it back on track.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
And so going back onto the tools, you know, I think my tool is actually just to sit there for 5 minutes and breathe, close my eyes, figure out what I need to do, prioritize it, and then actually go and do it. And actually that tool works for me. So it really does. So and Ram will know that I will always take a step back and actually sit in one area, quiet, just trying to focus on what needs to be done, and it actually works.
Yeah.
So this is good because
and this is how it often happens because this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but and yes, I work in mental health, but sometimes we're our worst patients, like doctors are. So I had my first experience of a panic attack 5 years ago. And as I said, it came on really suddenly one morning. I still remember it as if it was yesterday. My body, something really weird I was just feeling really weird in my body. And I knew there was just something different. I've never had a feeling like that before. And all of a sudden, I was just like holding onto the wall. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to black out. I'm going to black out. I'm going to black out. Because my heart started racing, and it was the breathing.
Right.
The breathing really scared me. I really, really couldn't breathe. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I didn't know what was going on. And it was really sudden, really quick, done, over within seconds. And then I was like, okay, what actually just happened? And even though it was really quick, it wiped me out for the rest of the day. Like physically wiped me out.
Wow. Okay.
For the rest of the day.
Okay.
Because I went downstairs and my mum was like, she could tell on my face something had happened. She was like, what's wrong? Has something happened? I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like I felt as though I was going to black out. I couldn't breathe. My heart was beating really fast. And now I'm exhausted. And I literally was sitting on the sofa all day. This happened 12 midday in the afternoon. I was sitting on the sofa till about 7 in the evening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I couldn't. I think I could get up, but I was so physically tired.
Okay.
So then my mind's like, oh, okay, something just weird just happened, but it's fine. Okay. And then what happened? It happened again in the evening, but it was much less intense. It was sudden, really quick, but much less intense.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, what is going on? And again, just didn't take any notice of it. I am like the worst patient. It'll be fine. You know, like we always like to brush things under the carpet. It's all good.
I definitely do.
Because I hate going to doctors. I hate going to hospitals.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, okay, whatever's going on, it will just disappear. Like it will be fine. I had 2 panic attacks every day for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks. And I couldn't go to work. And then by the end of the first week, I was like, right, okay, something is not right here. I've never had this before. I don't know what is going on. And I did actually go to the GP and I got the worst support ever. They basically assumed it was something physical. So the first question was, right, so have you had your blood checks done? And I was like, no, it's been like probably 2 years. So then in my mind, I actually thought, oh, maybe it's like a lack of iron or vitamin D,
really easy,
you know, a physical thing.
They're very easy to,
right? And so I had all my bloods done. Everything was absolutely fine. Like my iron was a little bit low, but it wasn't that low for me to be having like these panic attacks.
Yeah.
And I kind of support. And so I got 2 panic attacks every day for 2 weeks. And then from the 3rd week, they started going down. So I had them, I think, once a day, every day. And basically I got I experienced it for 3 months, and in that 3 month period, it just went down and down and down, where in the last month I only had one, and then in the fourth month until this day, so it's 5 years ago, I've never experienced a single panic attack feeling. It literally just went away.
Right.
As it came so quickly, it just went away so
quickly.
quickly.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. And it was only until, so I help run a mental health support group in Harrow, and it's the weirdest thing. I had to come and do a talk on anxiety, and I was like researching. I was like, well, I don't know much about anxiety, but okay, this will be interesting. And as I was doing the research, I was reflecting back on my experience, and I was like, hang on a second, this sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe this is probably what I had.
You made me feel like that just now. But yeah, wow.
And that's what I had. And I only found out this year.
Wow.
But through my own kind of research and stuff. I got no help, no support. And in the 3 months that I was going through it, my initial tool was, right, because I'm thinking physically, there's something physically going on, lack of sugar. Okay, let's stop the caffeine. And for some people, yes, like sugar, caffeine, they are things that you can cut out of your diet, because for some people it does trigger. It's not the cause, but it can play a part. So I stopped coffee, and because I thought there was like a lack of sugar, every time I would go out, I would have a bottle of like juice or something sugary with me. That was like my savior. And I would still have panic attacks on the train, but that drink would just help me. But that's only a short-term solution.
Correct. I was just going to say,
And then afterwards, I was just like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, because I was getting on the train. I eventually had to go back to work. I couldn't even get to work because I would get to work always late, because I get on the train, it's empty, it's not like it's packed, and I'm feeling claustrophobic. Why the hell am I feeling claustrophobic on an empty train? So I'd have to get off the next stop, have my drink, wait. Like it became such a stressful situation.
Which doesn't help the cause as well, right?
No. So then I thought, okay, this is really stupid. And then I just thought, okay, the next time you have a panic attack, rather than resisting it, because you know what you resist persists. Because I was so panicked that I didn't want to have a panic attack in public, not because I would look stupid or there's that judgment. I just didn't want to go to hospital. That's what it was. I didn't want an ambulance coming picking me up. Like, I just didn't want to do that. So I thought, okay, the next time I have a panic attack, let it happen. Like, feel it, go with it, and just breathe. And that was my savior. That actually was my savior.
So you're the second person that said it, right? I mean, as I said it earlier, in terms of it's the breathing and taking a step back out to find myself in that.
Let it happen. And when I did let it happen, the experience was much less traumatic. Much less traumatic.
Because you actually processed it. And then it figured its own way out. Right? Instead of actually avoiding it. And then avoiding it more. And then it's happening more. So then you get more anxious or have a bigger panic attack. And then
you start panicking of having a panic attack.
Right,
And it just becomes like,
take a step out, and it's so weird. So I've already said that. Jennal said that. Paul has just said, yes, breathe and hold breath to the count of 4. It is all in the breathing. 6 for oxygen to exchange in your brain. So yes, and Paula, thank you for that, because yes, it's so true. I asked someone, and then someone said to me, when you do your meditation, why do you take so long? What do you do in your meditation? I said, breathe. And the answer was, well, you breathe every day, don't you? And I was like, well, yeah. I said, what do you mean by that? If you can elaborate, please. And they said, but you're alive. That means you're breathing. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not actually concentrating on your breath.
And we're not always breathing correctly.
We're not.
That's the problem.
And when you actually, honestly, if you haven't tried this, or if you haven't done this, take a breath, if the count of 6 in, okay, and then breathe out for the count of 4, and breathe out for the count of 6. And you will realize, I'll actually do it in slowly, because I realized when I actually went straight into it, thinking I was a master in breathing. When I came out of it and actually opened my eyes, I realized how dizzy I felt, because the amount of oxygen that started pumping through, I thought, wow, I actually thought I was going to faint. So yeah, you'll realize that we don't actually take time out to breathe. And you know what? All you need is 5 minutes, if that. 5 minutes of breathing will actually focus you for the day. So yeah, thank you, Paula, for that. And hopefully, yeah, I mean, these are all sort of tools that can help people. So please do share this to, you know, people who you may think suffer from anxiety or any condition, and or, you know, it may help you if you suffer from. And as I said, that's just leading on to the next one. And of course, this is a bit more, we might not get a lot of response from it, but if you have ever suffered anxiety or going through anxiety, it would be nice to know how you managed to get yourself in that state to actually talk to someone if you haven't talked to anyone, and what are your fears. So if you basically, like, for me, I suffered from Crohn's, or I suffer from Crohn's for a long time. I kept myself to myself, and I realized the only person that was getting affected by it was me, because people wanted to help, but I didn't let them.
But people didn't know you were suffering from
no,
Crohn's,
and people didn't know I was suffering, right? Because I didn't want to tell people I was suffering, right? Because you
don't want to make it into a big thing.
Yeah, or they never understand. And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to sort of explain what I've got and why I've got it, and especially with the Indian families, it's long-winded, and it's only this year, at the beginning of this year, that I opened up about my Crohn's on Facebook. So opening up to a very, very large scale. And since I've opened up, it's not just actually released a lot of things in me, but it's helped me figure out how I can help others. And it's always also overcome my fears, because I would never ever do this. I have never thought of doing this.
Oh, trust me, neither would I.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Jennal's first one, when we did depression, as soon as the laptop opened, and it was open, sorry, and she saw her face as a reflection in the mirror, she goes, oh my God, right? And honestly, and I'm telling you, I personally, because I know Jennal, you know, she can talk, and I don't think there's an issue with her talking, but it's just that fear of, and we're opening, you know, going on Facebook Live we don't know how it's going to get shared. We don't know who's going to share it.
It's not that it's because we're speaking about subjects that we all still find really difficult to talk about, especially when you're like, if I could do this live if I was coming from a purely professional point. Yeah, this is what anxiety is, you know, this is how you get it, this is what you can do. It's because we're sharing our own personal stuff, and that's uncomfortable. You know, it's private stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff you don't want to talk about, because these are topics in any culture, but more so the South Asian culture or any Asian culture. There's still a lot of like taboo and stigma. And then you're kind of thinking, oh, but okay, but what if this person's watching it? What are they going to say? You kind of go through all this like
just going to say that
nonsense.
And I think
and you're
that's
like, whatever, it just needs to be done, because this is the only way we're going to help each other. Yeah. Everyone's experience is different, but the more we share, the power is in the sharing.
Yeah.
You know, because you give someone, you inspire someone else to be like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only person who's going through this or has gone through this. I didn't know that about anxiety. Now I know, so now I can go and help someone else, or, you know.
That's actually, that's our new strapline. I like that.
What? Which one?
I like that. The power is in the sharing.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good strapline. Yeah. So yeah, share that, guys. Just one line, okay? So going back to some say hellos. Hi Harinder, Ajit Bhai, hello. Hariom, hello mate, and Pandit Shamdas, Jai Shri Krishna, hello. So Prina said, I would have panic attacks after I lost my husband. I also use breathing techniques to help me get through them. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So some, as I was saying in the beginning, you know, some people can go through various forms of anxiety after something traumatic. But people, there's that misconception. You can only get anxiety if you have only gone through something traumatic. No, we've just explained you went into an exam. That's not anything traumatic.
Yeah, correct.
And it just happened.
Yeah.
For mine, nothing had happened in that day, in that week, in that month. However, I do feel I'm a little bit like, again, because I have this, I don't have this great feeling towards the sort of health system in this country. I thought I was ill in a different way, and I kind of made up. I started self-diagnosing myself, and then I was really, really scared, like really worried, to the point then that's probably why I started having these panic attacks.
Right.
And then as soon as the worry from that health condition went away, I think that's when the panic attacks actually stopped.
Okay. Wow.
There's kind of some link there, but I haven't really kind of figured that one out properly
Okay.
yet. But yeah.
So Paula said, I knew all along where mine came from. 1990. I asked my husband if I could see through his job I could talk to. I asked my husband if I could see through.
What do you mean, Paula? Just kind of clarify that.
Yeah, if you could just clarify that, Paula, because I think that's
unless if that's what she means at the next, because of where mine came. So she knew what was
right.
the trigger,
yeah,
or the triggers, and therefore she's able to be more open about it. Have we got that right, Paula? Don't want to kind of just assume.
Hi, Deepika. Hi, Deeps. Hey, I mean, hello. That's Deeps, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
And Paula just shared it. The power is in the sharing. Amazing.
Yeah, I quite like that strategy.
I like that. Yeah. That's nice. Thank you. Yeah. And so, as we're just we're just waiting for Paula. Hopefully, so yeah, Paula, if you didn't hear that, it would be nice to know what you meant by your last comment, which was, I knew all along where mine came from. 1990. I asked my husband if I could see through.
Oh yeah, she said yes. That's what she meant. So she knew where it had come from, so therefore she could be open about it. What's the next?
Right. So amazing, guys. I mean, wow. This has been for us. This has been very. We didn't expect as much engagement as it has been. We've had a lot of comments, a lot of likes. I can't see any shares at the moment, so I'm hoping you will share after this.
Well, look, we are okay. So
we still got people.
So Prina's saying I couldn't speak to anyone at the time, and yeah, that happens a lot because, I mean, I didn't speak to anyone because I didn't know what it was. I didn't find out that I was going through it until this year. But for people who are going through it, it is difficult to talk about it because, again, it's a topic you just don't talk about, especially if you come from an Indian culture or a South Asian culture. Mental health is still very much, it's so tough to talk about, or anything that's just really,
I think any condition, right? It's because you need to understand it first, before you can open up. Is that correct?
Yeah, because when you do open up, and people mean well, let's not kind of say people are being mean. People do mean well, but we're very quick to, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to see. No, that's that. I mean, we kind of touched this on this in the depression one, but that just gets a little bit annoying.
So Paula has just said, and I'm going to let you say it.
Okay. So Paula's just saying, I was sexually abused for 16 years. Is this too open? I mean, this is the point of having these conversations, Paula. So please don't feel it is too open. And, you know, it takes a lot of courage to even kind of put that out there and in front of people that you don't know. So thank you so much for even just saying that. Yeah. I was no longer.
Okay. You're going to be the secret keeper.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, please, again, guys, let the comments coming. Hi, Ravi Bhai, Manish Bhai, hello. Thank you so much for joining. Even though you've joined later on, there's no such thing as later on, and because you can always recap on the comments, and you can always watch this live again. It is going to be on my Facebook, and I will be sharing it, on a weekly basis if I think it definitely is going to be helping someone. It's also going to be shared on my YouTube, and it will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. So I will share the YouTube channel later on today as well. Hi, Asha, hello. And so again, this has been very engaging, and we are very thankful to you guys for your comments. And actually, there's been a lot of deep sharing, which is, we did not expect that. And so thank you so much for that, because this is what will hopefully make other people open up, because they realize that you can actually keep sharing, and we are all one sort of community. We're all going through something together. If we're not going through it, then hopefully we can help people, and what you've learned from this, and help others sort of come out of not their shell, but help them. You can't push someone to do something. Like we haven't pushed anyone to share their journey.
And that's kind of just off what someone mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah.
How can you get other people to accept that they have anxiety? I think that was a roundabout statement. You can't. Okay, that you can't. You can do your best. You can try and sort of have conversations with people, but you cannot force someone to accept something. If they're not going to accept it, they're not going to accept it. Because what would you do?
You can't. Exactly. You can't. And I think that's where what we've got wrong.
But
right?
you still be there for that person.
Correct.
That doesn't stop you being there for that person, and you're always going to be there. And one day they will be ready. But for some people, this is a tough thing. Yeah. It's a really, really tough thing. And it just takes some people a lot longer to accept something. And having all of these stigmas and taboos doesn't help. That's why people don't want to accept certain illnesses.
Yeah.
So we've got to give people time. Don't force people to accept things when they're not ready to, because that would be the worst thing for them.
That doesn't help them, right?
No.
So Asha said hello. Hi.
Hey.
Headspace is
yes, it is.
App for this.
I do use Headspace. It's amazing.
Is it a free app?
No, Headspace isn't. No, it's not a free app, but it's really worth. It's really, really worth getting that app. It's absolutely amazing. And there's even like apps for kids. I mean, meditation and mindfulness is a really, really good thing, because what we were talking about, breathing before, it just grounds you. It brings you back into the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just for anxiety. It's for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's literally for everything. Headspace, Calm's another one I use.
I use Calm.
And that's amazing. So definitely, if you haven't tried any type of mindfulness, meditation, breathing, definitely would recommend, even if it's like 5 minutes a day, it really does wonders.
Yeah. So just going on that, actually, and it's just because so thank you, Asha, for actually saying that, because you've just brought me on to the next bit. Is if who are going through any condition, anxiety, and we're talking about anxiety, which is why I keep saying anxiety, but it could be depression, or whatever you think it is, or yourself, you're going through something, then it'll be good to know on this live. You can always leave a comment later on if you don't want to leave it now, if you want to think about what you want to leave. Some of the resources that you've used, and whether it's a podcast. I know someone mentioned, what was it earlier? The
Thrive program by Rob Kelly.
That's it, Rob Kelly. That's the one.
I've not heard of that one, but I would definitely kind of look into that.
So anything that you think may help others, and hopefully people will read through these comments, and what I will pick up some of the comments where I think it might help people, and just put those comments as a strap on the live so that people can just go straight to it. But if you think of any resources or any other tools that you think may help people, then please do leave a comment on this live. We've had Headspace, we've had Calm, we've had the Thrive program. We've have just another one. Nipika said there is an app called Unmind, okay, which is really good. Nipika, it'll be nice to know, is that app free or do people have to pay for it? Just let us know of what's actually helped you, or you may know someone and you may know their tools of what's helped them. Please share those resources, because this is what's going to help people. It's not me and Jennal talking. It's going to be the apps, the podcasts. It could be books. Let us know of what's actually helping you. So, Paula, you're right. Laughter is a great tool.
Yeah. So not just like apps and stuff, but so like, okay, even though there's no particular cause to anxiety, there are many triggers, and the number one trigger is stress. So what are some of the things we can do to make our lives a little less stressful? And we live in like a really busy city. We have like all really busy jobs. My calendar is like pretty much busy for the rest of the year.
We couldn't even get this date in,
is like
so
ridiculous.
This is hard.
So what can we do every day, even if it's for 5 minutes, for yourself? And it could be something as simple as, just having a laugh with a friend, catching up with somebody, reading something, meditating, sitting in the garden, whatever it could be. But we do need to kind of get better at just being in the present and not constantly being on the chase for things. I've got to get this done, that done. Like we're everything is so fast, so instant, so overwhelming. We have all these targets to meet, all these expectations, and it's a lot. This is not how the human body is built to deal with. This is not how we're supposed to be living life. And that's why anxiety levels are really high, alongside depression, because of the way our lifestyles are. So I think I read a stat the other day, like 60 million, just within the Indian culture, the South Asian culture, 60 million worldwide suffer from anxiety. 60 million. That's a lot. Huge. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better, because things are just so instant, so quick. Everything's now. Like I was listening to like two girls on the train yesterday. I don't listen to people's conversations, but they're like really loud. And she was complaining to a friend of hers that, I WhatsApped my friend and I saw the 2 blue ticks. Why didn't she message me there and then? That's just an example of everything has to be done now. No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't.
You're so right. And I think if you take that step back, you understand how powerful that little step back is. Honestly, just that little breathing technique, which is, as I said, 4 in and 6 out. So count to 4 when you're breathing in, and then count to 6 while you're breathing out, guys. Okay. So just a quick few hellos. We have taken up.
What is how
1 hour 20 minutes we have taken up, guys, and I'm so grateful to all of you, because you've stayed on, you've commented. A lot of you actually stayed on through the entire live. I know some people have other engagements, so everyone has their own plan for Sunday. You can always come back to this live and comment as well, or you can drop us a message on Facebook if you need to. As most of you that have been on live, they either know me or Jennal. Please do share this. As I said, we've had a lot of comments and we have had a lot of likes by what I'm looking at, but we've had no shares. So please do share this live. It's very important in terms of, as we said earlier, the power is in the sharing. So as we're gonna sort of end this live, what we're gonna do, we thought we're gonna do something different. And so I'm going to let Jennal actually go on this. And it was about the pledge.
Yeah. So what we were thinking was that, yes, having these conversations are amazing, and it's really, really important to have these conversations. But we don't want you guys just to be sitting here or sitting wherever you are, listening to us talking. We've already taken an action by having this conversation. You guys have already taken an action by joining in on the conversation, but now we want to take that further. And me and Saga are going to be doing this as well. If there's anything that you've learned from this live, something that's really resonated with you, that's really impacted you, we would like everybody to take a pledge for the next month of something that you are going to actively do as a result of something that you've taken away from this live. Now, it could be something as simple as, okay, this live was really interesting. I'm actually going to go and, I don't know, research a little bit more about anxiety, so I know more. No, oh my God, I can't talk.
So we've been talking for 1.5 hours.
Know more about it. Or what else could it do? Or it could be, breathing. Yeah, I'm going to start for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to start meditating twice a week. Mm-hmm. You know, something realistic, but something that you're going to do either for yourself or for somebody else. It could even be that you may know somebody who's going through anxiety, but you've always been a little bit cautious as to how to approach the conversation. So your pledge could be, right, I'm going to try and actually help this person, go and reach out and have a conversation with this person.
Yeah.
So we'd love for you guys. We both, yeah, I actually do need water. I'm like so hot in this room.
I know.
See, look, now my mind's gone blank.
I was trying not to laugh. But yeah.
So have a think about what pledge you would like to do. It would be really amazing, because now that, like, Saga's been doing these lives for a while, and it's really, really great. And now I feel the next step would be people actually taking an action, doing something proactive about something that you've learned about anxiety. So maybe let's help. Okay, so Paula's already got something. Okay, I make a pledge to meet up with a friend next weekend. Okay, Paula, just tell us a little bit more about how that's related to the live. Is it a friend who's going through anxiety? Is this something as a part of a self-care thing for yourself, just to get out and be a little bit more social and take that time out for yourself? So just explain that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we can kind of tell you ours. Have you got any thoughts of what your pledge could be? Something specifically on anxiety, though.
I haven't actually. I was thinking about this earlier today, before the live. I know there's so many other ones, but it's not related to, like, I need to start drinking more water. That's nothing to do with anxiety.
Yeah, no. So. Something we've learned in this live. Something you've taken away from this live.
Wow. I think this is actually going to be something that people are going to really, really think about in terms of maybe it might not come back to them now.
But do let us know. Do post.
Yeah, because what we're going to do, guys, is, of course, we're just putting you on the spot here, and we completely understand. And some of you who have just joined us, you may want to sort of watch the live again, whether it's the bits of it or the whole, 1.5 hours worth of it, because it might understand what we're actually asking for in terms of the pledges. So what we decided is, what we will do is we'll follow up with your pledges once a week. Did we say?
Did we say that?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll try and we will definitely.
Well, we can just message.
We'll message. So if you message us your pledges, whether it's on the live, I'm sure, Jennal, do you mind if they share their pledges on? on Facebook Messenger, or it's up to you. Whatever you feel. I mean, whatever you guys feel comfortable with, because then what we'll do is we'll look back on this live, and then we'll follow up with your pledges and see, you know.
And that could be a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I think that will be a whole new conversation. And I think it will just, when you know that you've told someone, I'm not saying that you're committed to doing something, but it's that extra bit of growth. You've come out of that shell, and you've taken that step. You've come out. You've literally controlled your ego at that point. You've come out of that step. You've come out of that step already by sharing your pledge on this live, which is a big thing, because there are going to be so many people that are going to be looking at this later on or even now. So you've already done the first step, which is coming out of that shell. And now you're going to take action because you've told us your pledges. You're going to be committed to it and thinking, you know, I need to do this, because Jennal and Sagar are going to be calling me or messaging me in a week, figuring out whether I've actually actioned that pledge. So, you know, this is, again, it's for us to sort of grow together and create a community, which is what this is about, which is what me and Jennal were talking about earlier.
And I mean, also, you know, whether you decide to do the pledge or not, it's not about, right, you got to do it. You know, the idea is just to start kind of thinking, okay, these conversations are great, whether it's a conversation anxiety or something else, but let's now actually just do something a little bit more proactive about it. And you might do really well for the first week, and then it could go miserably wrong for the next 3 weeks. That's okay. It's the fact that you still did try. So my pledge, and this is related to anxiety, because I've noticed I really need to get better at switching off my phone at night before I go to bed, an hour before I go to bed, and not look at it an hour after I've woken up in the morning. Because I've noticed, I did do this for a while, and it kind of just, it's gone haywire recently. But the time that I was doing it, my mornings were great.
Right.
Like I was calm, like I knew what was going to happen in the day. It was all good. And even in the evenings, I would have better sleep. So you're waking up refreshed for the next day. I've been on my phone like till like midnight sometimes, and just like random stuff, like nonsense stuff, not even doing anything really, you know, scrolling through Instagram or something like that. And it really affects my eyes. And the more I've actually noticed, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, the more I'm literally scrolling, the more kind of, not anxious, but I do get a little bit agitated. And that's why I then don't sleep well, because I'm still awake. It does kind of affect my mindset.
Okay.
So that's going to help me with my agitation / anxiety. Just kind of be away from the phone a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't actually like doing that. And that does make me a little bit anxious sometimes, the more I'm just scrolling on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my pledge.
So we'll get your pledge written down. I'll make sure Jennal actually posts that on the live as well.
No, I will.
As a comment, so we, you know, something we can actually, you know, keep a track of, not chase, but keep a track of. So but guys, please do share your pledges. It is not, as I said, we're not forcing anyone, which is just trying to help. I think Jennal's gonna faint of exhaustion in a bit if we don't go off.
Sorry guys, it's a really hot evening.
But just as we finish off, just as a wrap up, what we want to know is it would be nice to know and get some feedback off this live, and not just off this live, but some of you have connected to a lot of my other lives or our lives. We're just trying to help and sort of share as much as we can, but we can only do that with the help of and your input and the help from your feedback, because where I might think, or we might think, that we're doing something right, you may find that there could be another structure that may help you. This could mean you might even think, actually don't do it on Sundays at 7:30, because that's not a good time for us, or whatever it is. Can you give us a suitable time? You know, we'll go with the majority. Or you may say, actually, this has been very interesting because you've covered a lot, but try and keep it to an hour. or try and keep it to half an hour, and maybe break up what you want to talk about in anxiety part 1, anxiety part 2, anxiety part 3, because I completely understand that a lot of people may not have the time to actually sit here or sit wherever they are to listen to a live for 1.5 hours, you know. So yeah, please do comment, guys, do feedback, because we can only learn. And as me and Jennal are looking to do a lot more lives together, especially on the mental health, you know, surrounding mental health, should I say, we want to make sure that we are sort of serving you guys, because this is not about us, you know, it's about service to you guys and how we can build a community by doing these lives and making everyone grow as a community as well as an individual. So it would be also good to know whether you can, if it would be nice if you can actually comment on the live. Let us know what stood out to you from this live, and what you have learned from this live, especially what have you learned from this live that you thought you knew the answer.
Yeah.
But now you've actually gone back thinking, oh my god, like especially the Mythbusters. If you do go back to this live, definitely go back to the Mythbusters, because the personal journeys are good. But the Mythbusters, you know, where I think a lot of people got it wrong, right? Whatever it is, it wasn't a wrong, it wasn't a right.
No.
We just did not know. It's what we've been taught, it's what we're conditioned to from other input, and it's nice to know. You know, it would be nice to know what stood out to you guys from this live, and what you've learnt from this live, guys. So please do comment on this live, because me and Jennal will be keeping an eye on this, and definitely this one, the anxiety one, because we've had a lot more engagement, and we just want to make sure that we're both here to serve you guys. So Jennal will also put up the diagram, we'll attach that, so have a look through it. And yeah, I don't know, so Jennal, any
I think that's it. I mean, yeah, feedback's always great. As Saga kind of like touched on, you know, whatever it could be like the structure of the program, maybe like the time needs to be different. Just let us know how we could do better, but also do let us know what you did like about it, so then going forward, those are the things that you can kind of
actually try and keep
within your
correct
lives, because you guys are the people that are listening, so it's really important we know what you enjoy about it and what you don't. So as a final point, what I would like to share with you guys, for anyone that does live in London, especially in Harrow, I am part of, and Saga is actually part of one as well, I'm part of 2 mental health support groups. So one is called Reroute. You can find us on Facebook, and this is a mental health support group for young South Asians in Harrow. You don't have to live in Harrow, but it sort of happens in Harrow. And the age range is from 18 to 35, and that runs on a monthly basis. If you know anyone who would be interested in coming to these meetings, you yourself on here might be interested in coming, do find us on Facebook. Our next event is on Saturday, the 14th of September, and you can find more details on our Facebook page. We are also on Instagram. The next, the other mental health support group, which is actually off the back of Reroute, is called Mental Wealth. This is another group specifically for the South Asian community, and that is for anyone between the ages of 35 to 60, and also runs in Harrow on a monthly basis. And again, you can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. Now, some of you on here might be thinking, okay, why are these groups only targeted towards the South Asian community? So, being born and bred in Harrow all my life, there's a large South Asian community in Harrow. And what I've experienced through the many jobs that I've had, and just through kind of other people's experiences, is that whilst there is this large community and there's a lot of mental health there within the community, there aren't any places for this particular community to go to in terms of support. And what I mean by support is, yes, there's a GP, Yes, there are the local IAPT services, but there's nothing specific for the South Asian community. People in the South Asian community to go to other support groups that are predominantly white because of the culture issue. And a lot of people may just not understand that. So there was clearly a need, and that's why these two groups were set up. And Reroute's been running for the last year. Mental Wealth only started in July, and there's many plans for both groups. So we're really kind of excited. And should we maybe, I don't know, at the end of the live link?
Yeah.
So if you do know anyone that's interested to go to either or both the groups, we'll kind of post. Yeah, post the link up.
We'll keep you updated on this live. And if you haven't connected already, by all means, if you want to connect on Facebook to either myself or Jennal, we always keep updating our pages. Our personal pages as well on when the next one is. So yeah, by all means, please do join in. I just want to, as I said, say, look, guys, I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for, especially there's people like Prina, we had Paula, who have been on this live, I think, from the beginning actually. So, and commenting and engaging, as well as everyone else that dipped in and out, which is amazing. It doesn't have to stay through the whole live. So I just want to say I'm so grateful to Jennal for taking out her time, the time to actually talk about anxiety in more detail, and also for sort of drawing up the myth buster, because I think that's one thing I've really found interesting. So going back on what I found interesting from this live, I found the myth buster, because something that I thought I knew, I didn't really know much about it. So thank you for that.
No, that's cool. No, it was fun.
And I hope you guys, as I said, as viewers, as a new community now, as I put it, thank you for joining me on all my other lives as well as this one. I hope you found it useful. I hope you share it, guys. The likes are still coming in, but the sharing, as we said earlier, and I'm actually loving this strap line, is the power is in the sharing. And we're going to leave you with that. The power is in the sharing, guys. So my next live, just so you know, is going to be on Sunday, the 15th of September, which is going to be with Amisha. And we are going to be talking about nutrition, diet, and disease.
Ooh,
so
that's
nutrition, diet, and disease. That's going to be on Sunday, the 15th of September at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I will definitely keep you updated, guys, regarding that. And once again, thank you so much to all of you guys. Thank you, Jennal.
No, thank you as well.
And much love. And we will be back on the next sort of live, and we'll keep you updated. But thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the rest of the evening, whatever you have left of it. And remember, laughter is the best medicine. So keep smiling, enjoy the week. If you think it's getting too much, take a step back, breathe in 4 times, breathe out 6 times. No, sorry. Breathe in for the count of 4, breathe in, breathe out for the count of 6. That's it. Not breathe in 4 times. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want anyone hyperventilating, right? So yeah, but look, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks.
Bye.
See you later. Thank you.